Hey guys, we're live. Hi Anna.
Hey Vlada, hey everyone. Welcome back to Chew on This. I hope you're a little bit hungry and you want some food to chew on, right?
Some food for thought. We got plenty in the next 20 minutes or so. We have a great topic, right, Anna?
Yes, absolutely. But Vlada, you know what? I would like to just to kick it off a little bit with an introduction because sometimes, we have our regular customers, right? Returning customers, and sometimes we have newbies. So let's first of all introduce ourselves in our show. I'll go first. You're here, guys. This is Chew on This. This is a weekly live show that Vlada and I started a year ago or more than a year ago, I think. Yeah, more than a year ago. This is every Thursday, 1 p.m. Eastern time, we get together to talk about things that usually interest everyone, right? And just give you some thought and give you some ideas to chew on. I am Anna Gandrabura. I'm the founder and an executive coach, but also I'm a podcast host. I am really passionate about power skills, helping people build out their power skills and helping businesses build out their team's power skills. So this is about me, Vlada.
Yes, partner in crime. Hi everyone. What a fantastic prompt, Anna, to get reintroduced to folks. Anna and I share background that we are both currently in Miami and originally from Ukraine. I am also a founder. I spent actually the first part of my career in corporate journey from Wharton MBA, Boston Consulting Group to climb a corporate ladder at Dell, and then I jumped with 2 feet into entrepreneurship, building a tech company, and that I sold last year. And now I'm mentoring other founders to help them gain clarity and confidence they need to succeed and go from idea to many millions of users to a successful exit if they so wish. And I am continuously exploring new areas and opportunities that I might be as crazy as to start another startup soon.
Amazing, great. Yeah. So and technically I guess the topic that we picked for today is really relevant for the time of the year we're in right now, right? I mean, time flies super quickly. It's already end of the year, like we're not in December yet, but still I feel like now is the right time to kind of reflect, to see what we've
Right.
done and to plan out the next year, because I believe that we don't take like people don't take enough time to actually reflect and also plan ahead of time, right? So because I believe that come January, I think it's a little bit too late to start thinking, to start planning, because like
100%, Anna. Sorry to jump in, but I'm so passionate because I lived it myself. I think, frankly, for many years, I now realize I was walking with my eyes instead of open, they were completely closed because I haven't taken the time to reflect,
yeah.
and I was just on this high speed train. And thank God for exiting the business that prompted me to do a lot of reflection. But ideally, that reflection is happening daily, weekly, monthly. And then when you get to this time of the year, right, it's still very important time to reflect, but you have built that muscle. So today we're going to talk about, I don't know, maybe building that muscle as well as our learnings for goal setting, right? What we learned about, we set goals, right, for a number of years, not to be disclosed how many in our lives. So
Yeah.
we learned something.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you allow me, I would like to kick it off because when I work with people in terms of coaching and helping people to kind of understand where they stand, and before we actually set up goals, right? This is what happens when you work with a coach. You set up one goal or several goals, and then you work towards it. The first thing that I usually do with my coachees, with my clients, I actually ask them to take some time to step back and reflect. And let me share the slide here, one slide that can be really, really helpful for people. Let me see if we can do it. Okay, no, I can't do it actually. I have to have a PDF. Okay, I can probably just change my background. Oops, I can change my background, and you should see this as my background. I introduce to people, a wheel of life. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it?
No,
Oh,
it's
no, you
still
couldn't.
your beautiful wheel of life.
Okay. Can see it. I think it didn't. Okay, it
Oh
didn't.
yeah,
All right, now it works. Okay, so
Woohoo.
yeah, so a wheel of life, I think a lot of people are familiar with this. Some people are not familiar with this, but this is like a great first initial step for you to start reflecting, right? To start reflecting on your life, because obviously we want to be successful in all parts of our life, right? But do we know do we know where we stand, first of all? And also, second, do we know what we need to improve, or what we are not really happy about, and other things? So I would highly recommend starting with creating your wheel of life at this point before you start setting goals for the future, right? And just to I know it's like kind of hard to see here, but let me just like tell you, if somebody's
What
watching
were
us,
this area?
you guys can just like take notes of the areas of your life that you want to reflect on. And those would be your career, of course, your finances, money, your health, your family and friends, romance, which is like love, your significant other, personal growth. This is what technically we're doing here with these live streams. I hopefully, yeah, we're helping people to
Technically and practically.
and practically, right? Then you have another sector, which is fun and recreation, like hobbies, like what do you do when you don't work technically, and physical environment. How are you happy with where you are, right? Are you happy with like where you live? Yeah, generally where you live. So these areas, I would just like stop for a moment and evaluate on a scale from 1 to 10. Are you happy in this or not at this point, right? But again, like I feel like sometimes people find it really difficult to evaluate because they like everyone wants to be a 10. You don't really need to be a 10 on this wheel of life, because your life is like going, right? And 10 maybe like in 20 years. At this point right now, for example, if let's say you're making 100K a year, you are happy. It's not like a 10 for you, but you are happy with this. So like it can be, I don't know, a 5 for you at this scale of life, right? But like your goal is so much high, but you're happy with the 100K, like you don't want to change anything. This is this is sufficient for you. So like think about evaluating at the point of life where you are at right now, and yeah, and then you can actually work towards the goals, like, right, if you're not happy with something, how do you set goals? And Vlada, over to you now, to share about goal setting. Like once you realize what you really want, for example, in 2025, how would you personally approach setting goals for yourself, and what are your top tips?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's interesting because as leaders, right, we set goals for ourselves, but also we set goals to for our team members in a way, right? Our departments, or as entrepreneurs for the company, or CEOs. And I've spent a lot of time thinking about actually goal setting, because in my practice, when it comes to, if I don't talk about personal but company goals, I've actually burned a lot of teams from very aggressive goals. And for me, it was 2x. 2x was the bare minimum, or 10x, right? It always, especially if you're building something high growth, you are pushing people and pushing the goals to, and then what happens with this aggressive growth and crazy goals, right, for yourself, personal, or the company, is that you can actually very quickly get burned out from that, right? That was my lesson learned, right? And it's it can be really great and motivating because it pushes you to think differently and do different things than incremental growth. But it can also backfire. So what I like doing, and sort of my lesson learned about goal setting, you actually have to do both. You have to set a big goal, and ideally for me, it's not necessarily a list of 50 goals or 100 goals, right? That a lot of people say, hey, in each of my area of life, I will have 5 goals, right? For me personally, this is just not something I can deal with. It's too many, and I really believe in focus. And so I do think that ideally you have a couple of big goals, maybe one, maybe two, three would be the absolute most for the year. And then you set sort of process goals for yourself, right? So to remove that pressure from saying, hey, I said I'm gonna, I don't know, this year buy this massive house and I haven't bought it, or I haven't made enough money, and then you're just frustrated with instead of actually appreciating where you are and trusting the process, right? And I think for me, the idea of having process goals is about trusting the process, and we have to trust that the sequence of things in the universe conspiring with us will get us to where we need to go.
Yeah, but it's just also important to remember that the universe is not going to be working instead of you. It's going to be working for you if you are pulling your weight, right? Like if you're doing what you're supposed to do. Because I feel like a lot of times, and there is even like a psychological opinion about this, that like you should not actually write a list of like things you want to do or you want to have or you want to accomplish, like like a wish list. So there is a certain group of psychologists who actually believe that the way our brain works, when we write this list of activities, we imagine that we already have it, then we don't do anything, because our brain accepts the information as if this action has already been done, has already been completed. So we lose motivation to actually work for it, because like our brain thinks that it's already there, like we don't need to do anything. I don't think I agree with this opinion, but I have met people who are like, no, Anna, we never write like down goals, like plans, like, or, wishful thinking, like wish lists for like what we want to have. Like I'm a millionaire, or like I have this car and things like this, because it doesn't work for us. Like we don't get the motivation we're supposed to get. So this is also really important. And back to your comment regarding having maybe like 3 big goals for the year, I totally support that. Definitely you can highlight like 3 areas maybe of your life, or maybe even 1 area of your life, and have 3 goals for this area, right? For example, career, like you really want to focus this year on your career, or like your family, and you can have this goal. I can share one practical thing that I personally did 1 year. So besides like having these like major goals for a year, and one of the recommendations that I got from one of the founders was also name your year, right? Like have the name to your year. I think we talked about this previously. I think in addition to these big goals, you can have one goal, one like smaller, and like you said, process goal a month, right? For example, like probably everyone's process goal in January is going to be dry January, right? No alcohol. So like, I mean, goals like this, like smaller goals. For example, 1 month you don't drink any alcohol, or like 1 month you're sticking to like a certain diet. Like for me,
exactly.
For me, it was like I started at end of January, and it was like end of January and February, I did the 30-day heart challenge, where I worked out twice a day. I was reading at least 10 pages daily.
Are you gonna do it next year?
To be honest, I am pretty like after that challenge, I stuck to many habits. Like I still read every day. You could know.
Yeah, I witnessed that. I can attest.
Yeah, you could witness that I still read every day. I work out every day. I don't work out twice a day, but like it's actually sometimes it is twice a day, because I do my daily walks outside, and that's a workout, because I do at least 3 miles, and then the gym and or yoga or something like that. So I don't know if I wanna like do it, because I already tested myself, like I can do it, willpower, it's there. And then I kept doing some of the things that really that I really liked. But I highly recommend this challenge to for several reasons. Definitely it's going to make you better, like healthier, fitter, more concentrated, less anxious, because reading these days I feel like it's almost like meditation, but it's easier to do than meditation for a newbie, because doing meditation, if you don't have any experience in meditation, you're never going to do it. Like you always, like, because you cannot just stop the
I
train
try
of
and
thought.
fail every time. Huh?
Exactly. But like reading a book, a paper book, it's very similar to meditation in the way it calms you down. So if you set a goal to read 10 pages or even 5 pages, a day, like in the morning, like I read in the morning when I just wake up so that I don't grab my phone and like start browsing. And of course I read in the evening before I go to bed, again, so that I don't again browse my phone. So this is definitely helps with anxiety as well. So that's my recommendation.
Yeah. And I think I love how you talked about naming the year. I think that I've always done it, both for myself personally, but also at a company level. And then if we had some campaigns, big campaigns, as always, I think giving. And I think of a name as almost a hashtag, right? It's like, what is that one thing that it just creates a lot of clarity and a lot of alignment. And it might be that you don't come up with that one thing right away, but as you think about what really your priorities are, as you write down your big goals, and then it's gonna brew inside and come to
Yeah.
life eventually. But I do think it's very important. My tip for those of you guys who are parents or have significant others and families, it's really cool to do goal setting together. And I'm so thrilled for my now teen, who started actually goal setting when she was, I think, 7 or 6. I've started with her doing it, and it's incredible because it's really sets that tone for the year. And initially, her goals, of course, are very meaningful to her, but very funny to read. But that creates again this habit of reflecting and habit of setting goals, because as they say, if you don't know what your destination is, you will never arrive.
Yeah, I think it's a great like a family bonding activity as well, right? And also like you teaching your kid early on how to pause, how to reflect, because that's also about being more emotionally intelligent, because
Right.
this is how you learn to understand, right? To recognize your emotions, because this when you're doing this activity, you're gonna have some feelings like, oh, something that maybe you're gonna feel some regrets, like your devastation, something that you have achieved or something that you haven't achieved, and some excitement. So definitely that's like work with your emotions. And this is an
Mhm.
opportunity to learn to become this emotion scientist, where you are exploring and discovering how you're feeling and how other people are feeling. We do have some comments actually here on YouTube. I'm streaming this on my YouTube, and we have an international audience too. So you guys, whoever is watching this either on LinkedIn or YouTube, feel free to drop your questions if you have, because we're going to be wrapping up soon. But if you have specific questions about goal setting or reflection or personal growth, feel free to drop them in the comments. We have, like, on my YouTube, we have audience here from Mexico, from Turkey, from Egypt, and there's a comment. It's not a question, but there's a comment. The important thing is to achieve your goals, no matter how many they are. So what do you think, Vlada? Is it like really important to achieve all the goals that you set, whether it's one goal or 5 goals or whatever?
Yeah. Well, I think like in life, goals are not created equal. So I think that it's certainly for me very important to achieve the the most important goals, but also I think as you look towards those bigger goals, achieve some small process goals that you set, right? Because let's say maybe you're so that you build that flavor of success and winning, which is so important. At the end of the day, a lot of things in goal uh, achievement, not goal setting necessarily, are all about mindset. and your conviction that you will get there no matter what, right? And I think to get to that conviction, and that's why it's, I think, challenging to only set big goals and not set any sort of milestones leading up to them, because you don't create that flavor of success, right? So for example, if you're starting a business or thinking about a new startup, for example, and you say, okay, my step number one is to go and conduct 30 interviews, right? Like no matter what, you can get the 30 interviews. The other thing is like, doesn't mean you can build a successful business quite yet, but you can do 30 interviews, right? That's your like first, process goal towards that end.
Yeah, absolutely. You're like you break down big goals into smaller action items, and that's you're right. Like because you really want to feel that you want to see some progress, because that big goal might take some time, might take a lot of actions, and also like even what I wanted to add, even if you don't achieve your goal, of course this is heartbreaking. Of course this is demotivating. But if you reflect and if you look back at what you have done, you can still have that. Even like without achieving the main bigger goal, you can see that you've done so much. There might have been external factors that you have nothing to do with, and you couldn't control, like because like we can't control external factors, right? Then you'll see, I've done so much, this is what I did. And you can definitely make yourself feel better about this kind of failure with the big goal that you haven't achieved. So I wouldn't say that it's the most important thing to achieve all goals. It's the most important thing is to actually take actions towards the goals, towards all the goals that you have set up for yourself.
Yeah, 100%. And I think to wrap things up, I've actually taken the mantra from Jiu-Jitsu, which says win or learn. So I think in life, that's really our overarching goal, is to win or learn. So if we didn't win, it's as valuable, and many times actually even more, because it's a stepping stone towards some other things that are meant for us. We just, as long as we actually take the time to reflect and learn. And now is the time to see where we won and where we learned, and how do we take all of those successes and learnings into our new year.
Absolutely, absolutely. But just my final, say here, just make sure you do everything in moderation, because sometimes, we can discourage ourselves by thinking that, oh, okay, we've like, okay, this is okay. I didn't achieve this goal, but like I've done so many things, and then we get into, the habit of like doing things but not achieving things, right? So guys, like you have to learn from different resources and do things in moderation, balance in different ways, and I think that's going to be the best. So yeah, that's my story for today.
Yeah, exactly. And most importantly, it's going to be the best for you, because each of us is in our own unique and individual journey, and we're exactly where we need to be. I think not looking at others and comparing ourselves to others is going to be a great aid in this process. So it's all about you and your journey, and others can wait.
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
That's
this
a
has
wrap.
been great. That's a wrap. Yeah, this has been great. That's a wrap. I'm excited for this year. I'm excited for everyone to end the year strong and to start the year strong as well. So, Vlada, what should we talk about next week?
That's a great question. Well, you guys who joined us live, and those watching in replay, please give us your ideas as always as to what would be most helpful to talk about. But I actually want to talk about limiting beliefs.
Limiting beliefs sounds great. I can
I
talk about
think
limiting
that's
beliefs.
the more I work with folks um, as a coach as well, supporting startups and sort of doing my own reflection, the more I understand how limiting beliefs are in fact limiting and what to do instead. I think that would be a great topic.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it. Limiting beliefs in work and life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sounds
Have a
good.
fantastic day, guys. Thank you all.
Thanks for tuning in.